I'm Madeline Harvey. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. We're going to talk about how to develop your pop mix. There's a particular kind of quality that we hear in pop music, and it's a very bright, high energy mix. So we're going to talk about how you can get that doing one very simple exercise. So if you like today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up or click that subscribe button below. I would love to see you here more often. So it's important to remember that mix in and of itself is not just a register. Although it is, it's a compilation of many different factors. You've got your position of the larynx, you've got your mouth shape, you've got your airflow consistency, you've got the structure and strength of your vocal cords themselves, and you've got the position of your soft palate. There's a whole bunch of things to think about. So to make this really simple for you, instead of thinking about 5 things, we're just going to think about 2 things. We're going to think about the position of the larynx and the structure of the chord. Because doing this exercise in this way will not only give you a pop mix sound, but it will also help strengthen your voice in its entirety. Okay? So we're going to start with a very simple sound. And it's really important to notice that while we're doing the sound, we're not going for that high quality. We're going to work into that high quality. But we got our 2 things that we're going to think about today. The position of the larynx. In today's video, we're going to go with a high larynx placement because that is a brighter sound. Okay? Usually when we think about like classical singing, there's a lower larynx placement. It gives more of a robust, warm sound. But in our contemporary singing, we have a higher larynx placement, which gives a brighter sound. So we're going to opt for that today. And we're going to slightly lift the larynx. So put your fingers right on your larynx and give me like a baby voice, like you're saying be 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 be. Good. Very good. Now you notice that there was a slight movement in it. It's not going to feel like it shoots up in the same way that, let's say, you're struggling for a high note and you lift that larynx. It's not going to feel exactly the same way. It kind of tilts upward or tucks upward. Okay, so give that a try. You see that? Good. It's a slight lift. Okay. Now that takes care of that. Just think baby voice. Okay. That will lift your larynx. The other thing is I want you to stick your tongue out and let it rest on your bottom lip. This allows for us to expose the vocal cords just a little bit so that we can get in there and isolate. It's really, really hard to determine the right exercises for you because we need exercises that allow for that access. Okay, and today's access is purely about that chord structure and that laryngeal lift. So we're gonna say, yeah, just like a baby. But I want you to see in your mind's eye behind your tongue, Mabel, behind your tongue. Can you feel a very, very subtle little gag? Good. There is our position. Okay. Now we're going to do a whole bunch of notes. Are we ready for it? It's called a Rossini scale. It's 13 notes. We've done this before, and we're going to move at this clip, at this speed. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to get louder as we go higher. We want to manage our airflow in a straight line. We want it to be nice and consistent. This might be a bit of a challenge because it's very exposing. So you may notice that you sound a little like a goat on certain pitches. This is okay. Don't try to fix it. Just isolate that muscle movement. Okay? Good. Let's see if we can do 2 rotations in one breath. Here we go. Good. If you can make it through 2 rotations, that means your cords are closing and they're getting nice adduction, which is helping to resist that air. This is a good thing. Here we go. that top note, which is E flat 5. We got A flat 3 to E flat 5, octave and a half. It's rangy, y'all. But make sure you're not reaching up for that top note. What you want to feel instead, if you take your arm and your fingers, you want to feel just a tiny little massage. Just a little massage. Yes, it's not full on squeeze. It's just more of like a little press. That's it. That's it. That's it. Here we go. Good. Feel that? Feel how consistent that is. You're not wasting a whole bunch of energy to get up to now F5. Good. 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 Now feel free to drop out when it's too high, because again, we're A flat 5 now. Like, do you see how easy this is to get up there? But we got to make sure to keep something in mind. It is not this note. That's like the special note. It's this note. You got to feel that on that first note, because if you don't feel that, you're going to try to push for volume on that top note, and that means it's not coordinated enough. That's why you have to overcompensate. So let's try that one again. Feel that and that's one of the gifts of having this slightly lifted larynx, is it makes everything really small, and it really gets that mechanism to stay intact. Okay, so notice if I went, don't want that. You see how I got in trouble, and you heard me trying to push that larynx up or pull that larynx up when I got up to the top. But if I think, coordinate the first note. Okay, let's try it together. Good. Really control that volume. Also, you will notice that as you go to the top note, you may notice that your larynx kind of lays back a little bit. It tilts a little bit because it's already in a lifted position. So it can't lift more, but it may tilt back a little bit. Let's see if you feel that. Yeah? Good. If it's too high, of course, drop out. But let's try that B, up to that B again. I'm not entirely satisfied. I want it to be nice and clear and nice and coordinated. Here we go. Good. Last one. C6. Good. Now we're probably gonna run through this a couple of times. If you've got these sounds in your voice. Now, if you don't, this is okay. This is okay. But I just want to make sure that we get this nice and coordinated. Again, it's like a little massage up at the top. It's nothing more than that, okay? No, you don't have to work harder than that little massage. Little massage at the top. Just like you're talking like this, okay? Here we go. Good. Again. Good. Good. Now this position is where it's at for your pop mix. Pop mixing is brighter, it's more energized, but this is the way to build it. So if we were just playing around, I'm like, yeah! It's the same coordination that we just did. So it's very, very important that, of course, we want to get you to that nice finished sound, but this is the best way to do it. Once you get a handle over these notes, because again, there's this particular pattern. Once you get a feel for that, then you can start to maybe slow it down a little bit, give more time under tension for those muscles, okay? But if you got to the C6, congratulations. That's really, really, really high, but it is really important to kind of aim a little higher than where you're accustomed to, because so often our limits are just reactions they're kind of flaws in our setups or flaws in our technique, but we continue to have those reactions. So when you're doing an exercise like this, it's the first note that is the special note. It sets the tone. So you want to keep that lifted larynx and that that sound of baby voice with the tongue out, okay? This will help you isolate that interior structure, make it a little bit more strengthened and developed so that you get a higher degree of vocal function. When you're ready, you can kind of come off of it. So let me show you what that sounds like at like a reasonable pitch. So if I went, yeah. So you might be able to do that. Go from the lifted one to the slightly, it's still lifted, but it's more kind of come off of it a little bit. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up or click that subscribe button below. And if you really enjoyed this exercise, I did just do an entire live about this. It was like an hour and 15 minutes. Like, we got into this. And if you want to check that live out, then click that join button below. Become a member of this channel. As a member, you'll have exclusive access, like invite only, to our lives that we do every Monday and Thursday. And we would love to see, we would love to hear about your vocal goals. We are a growing community that know each other well. We root each other on. So it's really, really great to see my members twice a week for our lessons. So again, just click that join button below. It's only $4.99 a month. And your contribution helps to support our channel. That way we can continue to deliver awesome content that's just for you. Okay, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you again next time.